This video we are going to discuss about the most important topics of object oriented programming language for MAKAUT semester examination. So here, without wasting any further time, coming to the first question. The first question is explain encapsulation with an example. Encapsulation is the process of wrapping data and methods together inside a single unit called class. So simply, it works as a capsule where the medicine and its properties are put it into the same capsule. It's simple. In simple words, encapsulation is the process of wrapping data and methods together inside a single unit called a class. It protects data from outside interference by keeping variables private and giving controlled access through public methods. This ensures data security and prevents accidental modification. Encapsulation also improves code maintainability because changes inside the class do not affect external code. In Java, encapsulation is achieved using access modifiers. We all know what is access modifiers like public, private, protected. These all are access modifiers. With an example, let's understand this in more detail. So here the class name is student. In class student, this private variable is there, that is mark, and the access modifier is private. For here, the methods function is written inside this. So this is a encapsulation where inside a class, a method and its functions or its properties are put into the same class. Okay. Coming to the next question. The question is, what is abstraction? How does Java achieve abstraction? So abstraction means showing only the essential features and hiding the unnecessary internal details. For examples, in every website, you can only see the user interface. The internal codes and all you can see. So simply remember that abstraction means showing only the essential features, only the output, and hiding the unnecessary internal details. So it reduces complexity by focusing on what an object does rather than how it works. Java achieves abstraction through abstract classes. This is the main point. Java achieves abstraction through abstract classes. I will recommend you all to go through the whole video because in this whole one video you can achieve the whole conceptual things of object oriented programming language. For that will be very beneficial for your MAKAUT semester examination. In one single video I'm going to explain 10 to 20 most important questions that may, or we can say the CO short questions of object oriented programming languages, and also I will provide this whole PDF in the description box and also a little more notes for further object oriented language examinations or related Java related examinations. So here abstract classes is partially abstract methods and concrete methods. What is abstract classes? Abstract classes means it is simply used in abstraction. Abstract is a keyword. Abstract keyword used to define an abstraction or to define a classes. So in interfaces, fully abstract structure before Java 8. Abstraction improves security, it reduces code complexity and increases modularity. You may ask that what is the application of abstraction in Java? So simply you can write it improves security, it reduces the code complexity and also increase the modularity. For example, when using a mobile phone, we press buttons without knowing the circuit inside. So this is also an example of abstraction. You have to remember these examples for further elaborative explanations. Okay, you have to remember these examples. So in this example we can remember it like this, that when we are using a mobile phone, we press buttons without knowing the circuit inside. This is a real life abstraction example. Please do remember this. Coming to the next question, difference between abstraction and encapsulation. This is a very important question. Abstraction and encapsulation. We have already learned about abstraction before, and also encapsulation. So we can easily write down the differences between abstraction and encapsulation. I'm right now skipping this question. You can also watch this question in our PDF. Question number 4. Explain method overloading with example. This is a very important question. Example, with an example, you also can explain or elaborate this question in more detail. So the answer is, method overloading occurs when multiple methods in the same class share the same name but have different parameters. So, in a same class, there are multiple methods with the same name, but the parameters that are being shared are different. So, it is an example of compile time polymorphism. You have to remember one thing, that is, for method overloading, this is compile time polymorphism, and for overriding, that will be runtime polymorphism. It can be that one major differences between overloading and overriding, that is, for overloading it is compile time polymorphism, and for overriding this is runtime polymorphism, because the compiler decides which method to call. Overloading increases the program readability and makes the code more flexible. So, what is the application of overloading in Java? It increases the program readability and makes the code more flexible. Let's understand with an example. Here, int add in this method and these two methods has the same name, but for parameters int a and int b, here it has only two parameters, but here in this method it has three parameters. So when a function will be called through after the instance is created, uh, the Java compiler sees that how many parameters are being passed, and as per that parameters it calls either this function or this function. Okay, easy. Next question, explain method overriding with an example. So as we learned before, method overriding is a runtime polymorphism. You have to remember this. Method overriding occurs when a child class provides a new definition for a method already present inside the parent class. Simply, inside a parent class, a method is already present, but without changing anything inside, the method that is already present in the parent class, but we are inheriting those functions and changing something in our child class is known as method overriding. It simply occurs when a child class provides a new definition for a method already present in the parent class. It is used to achieve runtime polymorphism because the method executed depends on the object, not the reference. Overriding helps in implementing specific behavior in subclasses. Simply, what is the main importance or applications of overriding is that it helps in implementing specific behavior in subclasses. Let's understand this with an example. Class A system.out.println, this is the print statement, and here we are printing A. And for class B extends A, we use extends keyword to inheritance the methods from the parent class. So here the parent class is A and B is the child class. The child class extends the functions or the methods from the parent class A. Simple. And here the system.out.println, that is B. After we create the reference variable, after we create the instances or the object, then the output will be B because we have changed it. We have inherited the function, or we have inherited this whatever is written inside the class A in class B, and then we have made some changes in our child class in B, and ultimately when we print after creating the reference variable of the class, we will be getting the output uh, that is in our child B class. Coming to the next question, explain dynamic method dispatch. Dynamic method dispatch is the mechanism by which a call to an overridden method is resolved at runtime instead of compile time. It supports runtime polymorphism. When a parent class reference refers to a child class object, the JVM Java virtual machines decides which version of the method to execute. This allows Java to support dynamic behavior and write flexible extendable code. Coming to the next question, explain different types of inheritance in Java. This is one of the most important questions in OOPS. This concept must be clear. So, what is the definition of inheritance? Inheritance means simply uh, there is one parent class and one child class. Getting all the functions, all the methods, the all the things from the parent class to child class is known as inheritance. Java supports several inheritance types. Single inheritance means there will be one parent and one child. Multi-level inheritance means parent, then child, then grandchild. Hierarchical inheritance means one parent with multiple children. I would recommend you all to have a visual diagram. Just search in Google inheritance, how Java inheritance types, and go to the diagram bar. Then watch the diagram. If you can't remember all this, just draw the diagram in your exam paper. It will be enough, more than enough. But for understanding purpose, let's understand this in a little. And hierarchical inheritance, it has one parent with multiple children. Hybrid inheritance, it is the combination of types achieved using the interfaces. A hybrid is a combination of two inheritance types. Simple. Java does not support multiple inheritance using classes to avoid ambiguity like diamond problem. So, what is multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance means simply when there are two parents and a single child. So, the child cannot decide from which parent it should be inherited. It can inherit its data from which parent. So, in that cases, that's the main reason Java cannot support multiple inheritance. But through interfaces, we can achieve multiple inheritance through interfaces, but not through inheritance. Difference between inheritance and composition. Inheritance represents an is a relationship where child class extends the parent. In inheritance, we used this extends keyword. In inheritance, we use this extend keyword. And for interfaces, we use Interface keyword. Okay, composition represents a has a relationship where one class contains an object of another class. Composition is preferred when we want to lose coupling. Inheritance is static and strong, but composition allows more flexibility and reusability. Simple. Explain JVM and its components. So JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. It is an engine that executes Java bytecode. It is an engine that executes Java bytecode. We all know that how Java code is run. The first we create the bytecode, then we can run it. Simple. It provides platform independence by running on the same bytecode on any OS. After the compilation, we get the bytecode and it can be running easily on any operating system. This is the bytecode that can be run easily, so it provides a platform independency. And so JVM helps providing in platform independency, so that it can be running on any types of operating systems. So the components includes class loader that loads the classes, bytecode verifier that checks security, interpreter and JIT compiler, executes code, runtime data area, stack heap method area. JVM makes data secure, portable and robust. These are some examples, or we can say the applications or importance of JVM. Java Virtual Machine. Why Java platform dependent? We have just said that it creates a bytecode that can run on any operating system. That makes it simple that it is a platform independent language. Next question. Explain try catch finally with example. The try block contains risky code. The catch block handles the exceptions. The finally block executes always. That means the blocks at the last that will be always executing. We use finally when we are performing any file handling operations, like opening any files, and at the last of the code we need to close the file. Then we use this finally keyword. Even if an exception occurs, still it will block or executes anyways. This ensures proper cleanup of resources. Types of exceptions in Java. Checked exceptions, checked at compile time. We also can say IOE exception. Unchecked exceptions, that is arithmetic exceptions, like the exceptions mostly created using the zeros. Like if you are writing a code of prime numbers and if the user give an input of zeros, then it gives some exceptions, that is known as arithmetic exception. We need to write at the try block that how we can solve these exceptions. Like we can write a statement, if statement, that if the user input is equal to 0, then we can easily in the catch block we can easily say that this is a invalid syntax, or write something valid. 0 is invalid syntax. 0 can't be a prime number or anything. So it is a or another type is user defined exception, that is created by the programmers. What is an interface? This is also a very important question. What is an interface? Explain with an example. An interface is a blueprint of a class, that contains abstract methods. It supports multiple inheritance. For example, interface A. We define interface using this interface keyword. Interface A, void run. Class B implements A. Also we use implements keyword in any interfaces. Then it interfaces this A. So the class B is a child class and A is the parent class. It implements this interface. Difference between abstract class and interface. Abstract class is a partial abstraction and interface is a complete abstraction. Abstract class can have constructors but interface cannot. Interface supports multiple inheritance. It used when we want common behavior across the classes. Interface is basically used when we want common behavior across the classes. Explain applet life cycle. Applet life cycle includes init or initialization, start or starts execution. This is the easiest way possible. We can make you all understand before one night of your examination. Just remember these points and try to elaborate in your way in any examinations. So the steps are init, start, paint, stop and destroy. Applet programs run in browsers or applet Viva. If you remember these steps, you can easily elaborate one or two line more in your exam paper. Okay. So the next question is explain array list versus linked list versus hash set. This is not a very important question, but also a green line question, like a intermediate question. Array list uses dynamic array that is a first random access, but linked list uses nodes that is a first insert or delete. But for hash set, it stores only unique values. No order is maintained here for hash set. It is based on performance needs. It is used based on performance needs. What are generics? Give examples. This is also not a very good or very important question. This is the intermediate question. What are generics? Generics allow classes and methods to operate on type-safe objects, avoiding runtime errors. For example, array list, string list, new array list. This is just the syntax of creating a new array list. They improve readability and reduce casting. Example, iterator design pattern. Not so important question, but just go through it. Have a look at the answer of this question. Iterator provides a standard way to traverse a collection without exposing its structure. It uses next and has next. It improves abstraction and makes collections easy to iterate. Don't worry, I will be providing the whole PDF in the description box with also an extra notes for 10 marks questions. And I would recommend you all to just have a look of those two PDFs for your tomorrow's examination. And I'm extremely sorry that this video is a little late, but we all know that we're going to learn before the exam at the night before the exam. Okay, so coming to the next question, explain observer design pattern. Observer pattern creates a one-to-many relationship. When one subject changes, all observers get notified. Observer design pattern, like in a Facebook app, when some internal changes occur, all the customers get to notified about the changes, how to use it or what changes have been done. Try to relate with the real world example so that you can remember and explain it in your own way. And I will recommend you all to attend all the questions. If you know a little little bit about that questions, please try to attend, try to elaborate in your own way. Okay, coming to the next questions, what is MVC architecture? This is a very important question. So what is MVC architecture in Java? Explain MVC architecture in Java. MVC stands for Model View Controller. And model means it contains the data plus logic. A model that contains data plus logic. And view means we all know that it contains the user interface. View means the user interface, and controller means the input handling. So simply, MVC reduces complexity, it increases modularity and allows team-based development. So in simple words, what are the applications of MVC? It reduces complexity, increases modularity and allows team-based development. So here are some 10 to 15 mark questions, and I'll recommend you all to have a look of these questions also. Explain execution handling in Java. Discuss types of exception handling, and write a user defined exception program. There is a very in detailed note about exceptions and exception handlings, exception class hierarchy. All these are present inside this PDF. I will recommend you all, please go through this and try to read once. Try to concentrate while reading. Just read once. Try to understand the concept and remember that. And in your examinations, try to write like in your own way, because MAKAUT questions are very much unpredictable, we all know that. And I can only say the sure shot, the most important questions are the suggestions, but we all know that MAKAUT is unpredictable. Now, having a basic knowledge about all over the syllabus and the concepts is a must. So please just watch this whole PDF, try to concentrate while reading this PDF. I wish you will all have a great examination.